My child, stop scrolling. Right now. I mean it. Don't keep swiping like this is just another video in your feed. This isn't an accident. You didn't just randomly land here. I guided your thumb, your eyes, your heart straight to this moment. And I need you to pay attention, because what's about to happen isn't background noise. It's a divine intervention. And trust me, I don't do coincidences. You've been looking for something. Maybe you didn't even know what. But deep down, you felt that restless, nagging feeling like you're stuck in a waiting room and everyone else is moving forward. You've asked, why is this taking so long? Why are doors slamming shut in my face? You've wondered if I even see you, or if your prayers just hit the ceiling and bounce back. I see you. I've always seen you. And I brought you here because your heart is finally ready to hear what I'm about to say. But here's the thing. You can't scroll past this. Don't silence this moment. Don't act like you're too busy or too tired. I know you've been gaslit by life people, circumstances, even your own doubts telling you that you're not enough, that you missed your chance, that your time has passed. That's a lie. And I'm about to break it. But you have to stop pretending you don't care. You do care. That's why you're still here. So what's this all about? I'm about to ask you one question. Just one. But it's not a casual question like, what do you want for dinner? Or, are you okay? This question has power. It can shift your whole trajectory. It can open doors that have been rusted shut for years. It can wake up parts of you that you thought were dead. It's the kind of question that, if you answer it honestly, will change everything. I know you've been searching for answers. You're tired of the confusion, the delays, the closed doors, the inner restlessness that keeps you up at night. You've tried to fix things on your own. You've tried to force outcomes, to control the narrative, to be your own savior. And it's exhausted you. You're running on fumes. But I'm not here to shame you. I'm here to redirect you. You want to see change? Then I need a tangible response. Not just a passive, okay, God, I'll think about it. No, I need action. That's how faith works. So here's what I'm asking you to do right now. Press that like button. That small act is a sign of an open heart. It's you saying, I'm not hiding. I'm ready. Then, comment these 2 words. I'm listening. Let it be a declaration that you're not just hearing me, you're really paying attention. And don't stop there. Share this video with 3 people who need to hear the same truth you're about to receive. 3 people who are also stuck, also waiting, also asking questions. You might be the answer to their prayer. And finally, subscribe to this channel. Stay connected. I'm not done speaking to you, far from it. This isn't a gimmick. This is a covenant moment. Your response will set the stage for what comes next. Will you stay where you are, or will you step into the next level I have prepared for you? The choice is yours. But before I ask you that one question, the one that will unlock everything, know this. I have seen every struggle. P2. You thought I didn't see, didn't you? You thought those late-night moments when you stared at the ceiling, wrestling with questions that had no answers, those were private. But I saw every single one. I watched you put on that mask every morning, the one that says, I'm fine, I've got this, when inside you were crumbling. I heard the prayers you whispered into your pillow, the ones too raw for words, the ones that were just groans and tears. Even the ones you never spoke aloud, the desires you were too afraid to admit even to yourself. I heard them all. And here's the truth you've been afraid to face. You've felt overlooked. You've stood in rooms full of people and felt invisible. You've watched others get the breakthrough, the promotion, the relationship, the healing, and you've wondered, when is it my turn? You've looked at your life and thought, does God even see me? Does he even care? I know that ache. I placed it there, not to torment you, but to draw you closer. Because I see you. I have never, not for 1 second, looked away from you. Every burden you've carried silently, I've carried with you. Every question that circled your mind at 3 a.m. Why this? Why now? Why me? I've held each one. Every quiet disappointment, every hope that felt like it died, every door that seemed to slam in your face, I was there. You've tried to make sense of this season. You've replayed every decision, wondering if you missed a turn. You've asked, did I disobey? Did I pray wrong? Did I not have enough faith? You've let doubt creep in like a thief in the night, whispering that you're off the path, that you've been disqualified, that you somehow messed up your own blessing. But that voice isn't mine. I don't use shame to guide you. I don't lead with confusion. I am not the author of chaos. So let me set the record straight. You are not lost. You are not behind. You are not forgotten. This season you're in, it's not a punishment. It's a classroom. And in that classroom, I have collected every single tear you've shed. Not one has fallen to the ground without my notice. Scripture says I keep them in a bottle, and I do. Because every tear tells a story, and I value your story more than you know. When you felt like no one understood, I understood. When you wanted to quit, when you said I can't do this anymore, my presence held you. You didn't feel me, but I was there. I was the strength you didn't know you had. I was the reason you got out of bed one more time. I was the whisper that said, just one more step. I see the war raging inside you. It's the same battle every one of my children faces. Faith versus fear. Trust versus control. Surrender versus striving. You want clarity, I know you do. You want peace that doesn't depend on your circumstances. You want to stop second-guessing every move. Those desires, they're not random. I place them in your heart for a purpose. They're the compass pointing you back to me. Because the clarity you're looking for isn't found in having all the answers, it's found in trusting the one who does. You keep trying to control the narrative. You want to write the script, pick the timeline, choose the ending. But I'm telling you now, my script is better. My timing is perfect. And my ending, well, you haven't even imagined what I've prepared for you. So here's where you are, standing at the edge of a season shift. The wrestling isn't over, but the tide is turning. What you call silence is not absence, it is preparation. POV. You've been standing in God's waiting room for so long you forgot what it felt like to actually hear His voice. You've been scanning the horizon for a sign, a whisper, a smoke signal, anything that says, I'm still here. And in the silence you built a whole case against yourself. You told yourself you messed up. You told yourself you missed the window. You told yourself that maybe, just maybe, God got tired of waiting for you to get your act together. And you started believing the lie that the quiet meant you were alone. But here's the plot twist you didn't see coming. The silence wasn't a closed door. It was a pressure chamber. And in that pressure, something has been happening beneath the surface that you can't see yet. Like diamonds formed under heat. Like gold refined in fire. Like seed buried deep in dark soil before it breaks through into daylight. You think you've been stalled? Think again. You've been under construction. Every delay has been a divine renovation. Every no has been a redirection. Every moment when you felt like you were screaming into the void, God was tuning your frequency. He was stripping away the noise. He was stripping away the comfortable answers you relied on so you'd learn to rely on something deeper. I know you don't feel refined. You feel wrecked. You feel like you've been stretched so thin you're about to snap. You feel like you've been holding a pose for so long that your arms are shaking and your legs are burning and you're one breath away from collapsing. But here's the thing, you're still standing. You haven't dropped the weight. You haven't quit. You keep showing up, even when showing up feels pointless. You keep whispering prayers even when you're not sure anyone's listening. You keep doing the next right thing even when you can't see how it connects to anything. And that persistence, that raw, stubborn, completely unglamorous determination to keep going even when there's no payoff in sight, that is worth more than you know. That is the stuff of faith that moves mountains, not the loud, dramatic, Instagram reel kind of faith. The quiet, gritty, I don't have answers, but I still won't let go kind of faith. The faith that clings to the hem of his garment even when it feels like the garment is being pulled away. Do you realize how significant that is? Do you realize that your willingness to stay in the tension, to stay in the unknown, to keep your heart open, even when it's been bruised, that is more precious to God than 1,000 perfect prayers? He doesn't need your polish. He needs your presence. He doesn't need your certainty. He needs your surrender. So let me dismantle this lie once and for all. You are not disqualified. Not by your failures. Not by your questions. Not by the moments you lost your cool and said things you regret. Not by the days you fell asleep before you finished praying. Not by the seasons when your faith felt like a thread instead of a rope. You are not disqualified. You are not rejected. You are still His. And the fact that He's asking you this question right now in this very moment is proof that you still have a seat at the table. He didn't save a seat for the version of you who had everything together. He saved a seat for the version of you who is honestly, messily, imperfectly trying. He saved a seat for the person who shows up with tears in their eyes and questions on their lips. He saved a seat for you, right here, right now, exactly as you are. And no, you're not too far gone. You're not too late. You're not too broken. God doesn't have a maximum capacity for brokenness. He has a peculiar, scandalous, almost reckless preference for things that are cracked open. Because that's where the light gets in. That's where the oil spills. That's where the treasure is poured out. Your cracks are not your liability, they're your access point. You're exactly where He can reach you. Exactly where He can speak to you. Exactly where He can lead you forward. You haven't drifted so far that He can't find you. You haven't fallen so deep that He can't lift you. There is no pit so deep that His love isn't deeper still. There is no darkness so thick that His light can't cut through. There is no mess so tangled that His hands can't untie it. So here it is. Here's the pivot. Here's the moment when everything shifts. Now I will ask you the one question that changes everything. My child, you asked for clarity. You begged for answers. You wanted me to explain every twist, every delay, every closed door. And now, I'm going to give you something better than clarity. I'm going to give you a question. The one question that will strip away every pretense, every mask, every carefully constructed version of faith you've been holding up. Here it is. Do you truly trust me? Or do you only trust me when things make sense to you? I'm not asking you to answer out loud. I'm not asking you to post a comment or send a message. I'm asking you to sit with this question, to let it burrow into the quiet places of your heart. Not so you can feel guilty. Guilt is a dead end. Guilt keeps you looking backward. I'm asking you to examine the depth of your faith, to see where your trust actually lives. Because trust is not proven in comfort. It is revealed in uncertainty. Think about it. When the path is clear, when the answers come quickly, when your prayers get the response you wanted, of course you say you trust me. That's easy. That's a no-brainer. Anybody can trust when everything lines up. But what about when I ask you to step forward without seeing the whole picture? What about when my silence invites deeper reliance? What about when the road ahead is foggy? and every step feels like a risk. That's when trust gets real. That's when your faith stops being a theory and starts being the ground you walk on. You've been asking for clarity, but clarity can become a crutch. If you only move when you understand, then you're following your own understanding, not me. I call you to walk by faith, not by sight. That doesn't mean you're blindfolded, it means you trust the one who sees what you can't yet see. It means you take the step before the landing appears. It means you release the need to control the outcome. I've watched you hesitate. I've seen you pull back when I asked you to move. Not because you didn't want to obey, but because you wanted more information first. You wanted a guarantee. You wanted to know that if you stepped out, things would work out the way you hoped. But that's not trust, that's a transaction. Trust says, even if it doesn't make sense, even if I can't see the next step, even if I'm afraid, I will still follow you. The answer to this question is shaping your life more than you realize. Partial trust leads to hesitation. You say yes with your lips, but your feet stay planted. You pray for guidance, but you keep checking the map. You want my will, but only if it aligns with your preferences. And that hesitation, that half-hearted surrender, is what keeps you stuck. It keeps you circling the same mountains, waiting for the cloud to lift before you move. But complete trust, that's what opens doors to the impossible. That's what splits seas and makes a way where there is no way. That's what moves the hand of God. I'm not asking you to pretend you're not scared. I'm not asking you to fake confidence. I'm asking you to lay down your need to understand everything. To say, Lord, I don't get it, but I trust you anyway. That's the prayer that changes everything. That's the surrender I've been waiting for. You've been asking for clarity. I've heard you. I've seen the tears, the sleepless nights, the wrestling. But now, I'm asking you for something deeper than clarity. I'm asking you for surrender. Surrender of your need to know. Surrender of your control. Surrender of your timeline. Surrender of your reputation. Surrender of the outcome. You have asked for clarity, I am asking for surrender. That's the pivot. That's the moment where everything shifts. Not when you finally get answers, but when you finally let go. My child, you think the silence has been empty, don't you? You think the delay has been a sign that I've forgotten you. But here's the truth you've been missing. The silence wasn't empty. It was full. Full of arrangements you can't see yet. Full of protection from things you never knew were coming. Full of preparation for a weight you weren't ready to carry until now. You called it distance. I called it digging. You called it rejection. I called it refinement. While you were staring at the door that wouldn't open, I was clearing the path on the other side. While you were crying about the closed window, I was building a foundation that wouldn't crack under the pressure of what's next. You've been interpreting my silence as absent, but silence is not absent. It's the deepest form of work. Have you ever watched a master craftsman? He doesn't talk while he's carving. He focuses. He shapes. He removes everything that doesn't belong. That's what I've been doing with you. Every delay was a chisel. Every unanswered prayer was a cut. Every moment you thought I was ignoring you, I was actually repositioning you. So stop gaslighting yourself into believing the lie that I've abandoned you. I never left. I've just been working in the unseen. Now I'm going to ask you again. And this time, feel the weight of it. Do you trust me here? Do you trust me now? Do you trust me when you can't trace my hand? Because that's the real test. Not when the road is clear. Not when every prayer gets a green light. Not when your circumstances line up like a Pinterest board. Anybody can trust when everything makes sense. That's not trust. That's common sense. But trust, real trust, is what you do when the fog is so thick you can't see 3 feet in front of you. It's the step you take when the landing hasn't appeared yet. It's the yes you give when every cell in your body is screaming for a guarantee you don't have. So I'm asking you again, with urgency, with love, with the weight of eternity pressing on this moment. Do you trust me even here, even now, even when you can't trace my hand? Here's what's wild. The answer to that question doesn't just determine your next step. It determines who else gets touched through your obedience. Your yes is not just about you. It never has been. Every time you hesitate, every time you pull back, every time you say, Lord, I trust you, but your feet stay glued to the floor, you're not just delaying your own breakthrough. You're delaying someone else's healing. You're postponing a testimony that was meant to set someone else free. Think about it. Every person in Scripture who stepped out in faith didn't just bless themselves. Abraham's obedience blessed every nation. Moses' yes freed an entire people. David's faith brought down a giant and inspired generations. Your surrender is a vessel that carries blessing to people you haven't even met yet. The lives that will be impacted by your yes are already waiting on the other side of your obedience. So this moment, it's bigger than you. Let me remind you of what is written. Give, and it will be given to you. Not just given, pressed down, shaken together, running over. That's not a small blessing. That's an avalanche. That's a flood. That's the kind of multiplication that makes accountants nervous. But here's the catch. The first part is give. Before you receive, you release. Before the overflow, there is the offering. Before the harvest, there is the seed. And I'm not asking you to give from your surplus. I'm asking you to give from your trust. I'm asking you to sow into the very thing that feels uncertain because that's where faith lives. That's where the miracle happens. That's where you stop treating me like a vending machine and start treating me like a father who is worthy of your whole heart, including your wallet. So here's your invitation. Say it with me. Lord, I will not just receive. I will also release. I will not just ask for blessing. I will be a blessing. I will not hoard what you've given me. I will sow it into your kingdom. That's the prayer that opens the floodgates. That's the surrender that positions you for the next level. That's the moment where delay becomes destiny. So look at that PayPal link in the description. Look at that QR code. That's not just a transaction. That's an act of trust. That's your seed hitting the soil. That's your yes put into action. But before you give, I must show you where your trust has wavered. My child, let me show you exactly where your trust has wavered, not to shame you, but to set you free. I speak to you now not as a judge, but as a father who loves you too much to let you stay small. You have been trying to lead yourself. You have been grabbing the wheel when the road got dark. And I understand why fear is loud. Fear screams when faith only whispers. But here's the truth. Every time you took control, you backed away from the fullness I had for you. You say you trust me. Yet, when uncertainty hit, your first instinct was not to wait, it was to force an answer. You created safe outcomes, ones you could manage, ones that wouldn't embarrass you or expose your weakness. You built a life around control, not surrender. And control feels like protection, but in my kingdom, it's the very thing that keeps you from the overflow. You have been leading yourself, child. And you're exhausted. I can see it in the way you hold your breath, in the way you double-check every decision, in the way you pray for my will but then rush to make your own happen. Fear has spoken louder than faith, and I am calling you back. I do not demand that you understand everything before you obey. That's not trust, that's negotiation. True trust rests not in explanations, but in my character. Do you believe that I am good? Do you believe that I am for you? Do you believe that even when the path makes no sense, I am leading you exactly where you need to go? That's the question. Not what is the plan, but do you know the planner? I have shown you again and again that I am faithful. I have never left you, never broken a promise, never abandoned you in the dark. Yet you still demand a roadmap before you take a single step. Release the need to understand. That need has become a barrier. It has kept you from walking on water. Let me point out specific moments, because you need to see them clearly. Remember when I said wait? When I placed a pause on that door, when I asked you to sit still and let me work in the silence. You waited for a week, maybe two. But when nothing changed, you decided I must have been mistaken. So, you rushed ahead. You opened doors I had closed. You made phone calls I never told you to make. You forced outcomes that delayed my timing by months, not because I couldn't override them, but because I wanted you to learn from the consequence. And then, when I said step, when I opened a door that scared you, you hesitated. You froze. You asked for 3 more signs. You waited until the moment passed. Fear disguised as wisdom. Disobedience disguised as caution. Both came from the same root: incomplete surrender. Why am I showing you this? Because I love you. I correct you, because I refuse to leave you in limitation. A child who never learns to trust will never walk in the fullness of their inheritance. I am not punishing you, I am refining you. I am not rejecting you, I am reorienting you. I am pulling the splinters of control out of your clenched fists so that you can finally receive what I have been holding out to you all along. So here is your invitation, spoken directly into your spirit. Let go of what you are holding. I will give you something better. Lift your head. Breathe. I mean it right now. Take a breath. You've been holding it for so long you forgot what oxygen feels like. You think you're done? You think this is where the story ends? Not even close. You're tired. Yeah, but tired isn't weak. You're uncertain. Sure, but uncertain isn't lost. You're still standing. That's not a coincidence. That's me. The journey stretched you, pulled you in directions you didn't ask for, made you question if you could even bend that far without snapping. But you didn't snap. You bent. You held. You're still here. That's not failure, that's construction. I've been building something in you, and you can't measure progress by how easy it feels. Progress is messy. Progress is the middle of the night when you thought you couldn't go one more step and then you did. Stop measuring by comfort. Start measuring by what you've become in the struggle. You've grown, even when you doubted yourself, especially when you doubted yourself. Because in those moments, you finally stopped pretending you had it all figured out. You stopped pretending you were strong enough on your own. And that's where my strength showed up. You know that verse about my power being made perfect in weakness? That's not a platitude. That's the actual mechanic of how I work. Every time you felt small, I got bigger. Every time you felt like you were falling apart, I was holding the pieces. You didn't lose ground, you gained depth. This isn't the end. I'm telling you flat out, the story is not over. Every delay you cursed, every challenge you wanted to run from, every question that went unanswered, they're not dead ends. They're plot twists. They're shaping you into someone who can carry what I'm about to give you. You think I'd let you go through all this just to leave you empty? Not a chance. I'm not wasteful. I don't waste pain. I don't waste waiting. I don't waste a single tear. I'm using all of it. Now listen, release the pressure you've been putting on yourself. That weight, that frantic need to control every outcome, put it down. It's not your job. Your job isn't to make everything work out. That's my department. Your job is to stay close to me. That's it. That's the whole assignment. Not to have the right answers, not to fix everyone else, not to never mess up. Just stay close. Abide. Rest in the branch while I handle the growth. You've been gripping so tight your knuckles are white. Let go. Let me. I've got this. I've got you. I am placing new strength within you, a quiet confidence, not dependent on circumstances. You've been looking at others and wondering why their paths seem smoother, why their answers came faster, why their loads feel lighter. But you don't see their hidden cracks, the nights they wept alone, the prayers they choked on. Comparison is a thief. It steals your wonder and leaves you with envy. I didn't call you to run their race. I tailored every step of yours by hand. Every stumble is a custom fit. Every pause is intentional. You are not behind. You are exactly where the story needed you to be. Remember the potter? He doesn't rush the wheel. He presses in, feeling for the weak spots, reinforcing the clay until it can hold the shape he dreams. You've been spinning dizzy from the turning, shape-shifting under pressure. But the wheel never stops until the vessel is ready. I am the potter. You are the clay. Trust the hands that have never dropped a single piece. Even when the clay cries out, "Too much!" the potter knows exactly how much the clay can take. He never overworks it. He never underworks it. He works it until it holds his glory. I see you waking up tired, your mind already running before your feet hit the floor. You carry tomorrow's worries today, and yesterday's regrets on top of that. No wonder your shoulders ache. I didn't design you to carry time. I hold all of it past, present, future, in the palm of my hand. Your only job is to live in the moment I've given you right now. This breath, this step, this heartbeat, that's enough. That's always been enough. You ask me, when, and I answer, now. Not the now of instant relief, but the now of my presence with you in the fire. I am not a god who watches from a distance. I am the one who climbs into the furnace with you. The flames don't consume you. They refine you. Every spark that touches you burns away the fear, the pride, the lies you believed about yourself. What remains is pure, honest, and more you than you've ever been. Do you see what I'm doing? I'm not fixing a broken you. I'm birthing a new you. You've been asking for change, but you didn't expect it would cost you everything you thought you needed. Let it go. Let it burn. Let it break. On the other side of the breaking is a wholeness that no circumstance can shatter. You've tasted fragments of it, those moments of peace that didn't make sense, those sudden surges of hope when everything was falling apart. Those were not accidents. They were glimpses of the garden I am planting in your soul. Now, look at your hands. They're still trembling from the grip you've had. Uncurl them. Open them. See? They're empty. That's good. Empty hands can receive. I have something for you. It's not a quick fix. It's not a map with every turn highlighted. It's deeper. It's a quiet knowing that even when you cannot see the way is with you. A certainty that your value doesn't rise and fall with your performance. A peace that doesn't depend on your problems shrinking. You've been so afraid of silence, of stillness, of what might surface if you stop filling the space with noise. But in the silence, I speak softest. In the stillness, I move strongest. Let yourself be still long enough to feel my breath on your neck, my hand on your back, my whisper in the depths of your spirit. You are mine. You are loved. You are not forgotten. I am placing new strength within you, a quiet confidence not dependent on circumstances. My child, I need you to hear this clearly. I do not lead you into pointless uncertainty. Every moment you've spent wondering if you missed me, if you took a wrong turn, if you somehow slipped out of my hands, none of that was wasted. I don't work in circles. I don't set you on a path that leads nowhere just to watch you struggle. Every word I have spoken over your life still stands. That vision I gave you in the middle of the night when you couldn't sleep, still standing. That quiet assurance that settled on your heart during worship, the one you thought was just emotion, still standing. That promise you whispered back to me when you were desperate, the one you've since dismissed as wishful thinking, still standing. None of it is forgotten. None of it has expired. I don't speak and then change my mind like a person who second guesses. When I declare something, it is done in the spiritual realm before it ever touches the physical one. You just haven't seen it yet. Look around you right now. I know what you see. You see the same circumstances staring back at you. Same bank account. Same job situation. Same relationship tension. Same health battle. Nothing has shifted in the visible world, and that's been wrecking your faith, hasn't it? You've been checking for signs like a person refreshing a page that hasn't loaded yet. But here's what you keep missing. I am not bound by your timeline. I am the God who spoke the universe into existence across 6 days, and I called it good. I could have done it in a second. But I chose a rhythm, a process, a sequence of preparation. I am doing the same thing right now in your life. I am aligning details you can't see. I am moving people you haven't met yet into position. I am orchestrating circumstances that currently look unrelated. I am connecting dots that haven't even appeared on your map yet. You want the finished product, but I am still in the chapter where I set up the pieces. The painting isn't done yet, but the artist is still at the canvas. Trust the process you cannot see. Your life is not fragile. My promises are not fragile. They don't depend on your performance, your mood, your consistency, or your strength. They don't wobble when you doubt. They don't shrink when you stumble. They don't expire when you fall asleep on your prayer time. What I have declared carries authority that cannot be undone by your weakness. Do you understand what I am telling you? You have been treating my promises like they're held together by your obedience. Like one wrong move, and the whole thing collapses. That is not how my covenant works. I am not a God who makes conditional promises that break under pressure. I am the God who swore by himself because there was no one greater to swear by. My word is my bond. My character is the guarantee. If I said it, it is already established in heaven. The only question is whether you will still be standing when it manifests on earth. And I am telling you today, stand. Don't walk away from the promise because the weight is uncomfortable. Don't trade the eternal for the temporary just because the temporary is screaming louder right now. This is the part that most people miss. Timing is as important as the promise itself. If I gave you everything you asked for before you were ready, it would crush you. You think you want the blessing, but you don't understand the weight of it. You don't understand what comes with it, the responsibility, the pressure, the attacks, the management. There are things you need to become before you can carry what I am bringing. That's why I am preparing you while you wait. I am strengthening your hands for the harvest. I am deepening your roots for the storm that comes after the blessing. I am teaching you how to steward increase before I release it. Every delay has been a classroom. Every closed door has been a protection. Every silence has been a surgery. You thought I was ignoring you, but I was building you into someone who could handle what's coming. Someone who wouldn't be destroyed by success or corrupted by influence. Someone who would glorify me with the gift instead of worshiping the gift itself. I am opening doors right now that no one can shut. I am closing paths that were never meant for you, and you need to stop mourning them. Stop looking back at what didn't work out like it was a missed opportunity. What is for you will not pass you by. It will find you at the appointed time. You cannot miss your destiny. You cannot outrun my plan for your life. If it was meant for you, it will catch you. It will track you down. It will show up at the right moment and it will fit so perfectly that you will wonder why you ever worried. I am not a god of accidents. I am a god of appointments, and your appointment is coming. Not a moment late, not a moment early, right on time. Now is the moment for your response, not tomorrow, not later. Now, right here, right now, everything I have been saying starts to move. This is not a moment for passive listening, not a moment for merely nodding along like you're watching some inspirational TED Talk. This is the pivot point. The second the audience said yes in their heart, the gears began to turn. The silence breaks, the waiting room door swings open, and the promise you've been holding in your hand starts to breathe. Your response is the trigger. I've placed the key in your hand. Are you going to keep turning it over in your fingers, or are you going to actually turn the lock? Don't you dare say, I'll respond tomorrow. Don't you dare tell yourself you need more signs, more clarity, more time to feel ready. You felt the question. You felt my presence in every word. You recognized exactly where I've been tugging at your spirit, that deep, uncomfortable pull you've been avoiding. Stop gaslighting yourself into thinking you need another confirmation. You've already had more proof than you deserve. You felt my voice in the stillness, in the coincidence, in the word that hit you between the eyes. The only thing missing is your action. Delayed obedience is still disobedience. That's not me being harsh, that's me being real. You love to make excuses. I need to pray about it more. I need to wait for the perfect timing. That's Karen energy right there, acting like you know better than the one who set the stars in place. The moment for decision is now. Not with your lips alone, but with your feet. I'm not asking for a philosophical agreement. I'm asking for a full heart surrender that moves into motion. So here's the prayer I'm giving you. Say it out loud, not in your head. Let it break through the noise. Even now, Lord, I trust you. Even when I don't understand, I trust you. Even when it's difficult, I choose to trust you. Now, I need you to understand something. Faith is not a feeling. Faith is not a vibe. Faith is something you show, something you do. So, I'm calling you to take one specific step. It doesn't have to be complicated. It doesn't have to be dramatic. It just has to be sincere. Maybe it's letting go of that control you've been white-knuckling. Maybe it's stepping toward that conversation you've been avoiding. Maybe it's simply stopping the striving and resting in me without trying to earn your peace. The size of the step doesn't matter. The direction of your heart does. As you step, you'll feel it. The ground shifting under your feet. The weight of indecision lifting off your shoulders. This is not a leap into darkness. This is a step into promise. I'm already there, on the other side of your obedience. And I'm telling you with absolute certainty, you will not be disappointed. And as you step, know that I am with you in this very moment. I see the hesitation in your heart. You think you need to understand the entire roadmap before you move. You think if you could just see how it all turns out, then you would obey. But faith has never been about seeing the whole picture. It's about trusting the one who holds the picture. You don't need to know the next 5 steps. You need to know the next one. And I have already shown it to you. That quiet nudge you felt when you read my words, that's your step. That uncomfortable pull in your chest, that's your starting line. Don't overthink it. Don't negotiate with me. Just move. The enemy would love for you to stay stuck in analysis paralysis, waiting for the perfect moment that never comes. He whispers, not yet. You're not ready. You need to pray more, read more, be better. But I am the God of the now. Not tomorrow. Not when you feel stronger. Not when your circumstances are ideal. No. I am the God who called Moses from a burning bush, who told Abraham to go without a map, who commanded Peter to step out of the boat in the middle of the storm. Every single one of them could have waited, but they would have missed the miracle. You are standing at your own burning bush. Don't turn away. That one step I'm asking for, it might be as simple as sending the message you've been drafting, or forgiving the person who wounded you, or getting on your knees and surrendering your pride. It might be quieter, just sitting in my presence, without trying to perform, without trying to earn my love. Whatever it is, do it with your whole heart. Do it as an act of worship. Do it not because you feel ready, but because you trust the one who calls you. The step itself becomes the prayer. The movement becomes the faith. You don't need to see the outcome. You need to obey the impulse I have planted in your soul. And as you take that step, watch what I do. I will meet you. I will make a way where there seemed to be no way. I will confirm my word in your life in ways you cannot imagine. The ground that feels shaky now will firm under your feet. The fear that grips you now will loosen its hold. This is not a leap into darkness. This is a step into promise. I am already there, on the other side of your obedience. And I am telling you with absolute certainty, you will not be disappointed. And as you step, know that I am with you in this very moment. My child, now is the moment for stillness. Not the stillness of avoidance, not the stillness of hiding, but the stillness of knowing that I am God. Let everything settle. Let the noise of your racing thoughts quiet down like dust after a storm. You do not need to rush away burdened or confused. I am here, right in this breath, drawing you into the peace that the world cannot give and cannot take away. The question I asked you earlier was never a weight meant to crush you. It was a hook, a gentle pull, designed to bring you closer. And now you stand in the awareness that faith is no longer just words you recite. It is the life you are living. Look back for a moment, not with regret, but with wonder. Do you see what I have shown you? I saw every struggle you tried to hide. I spoke truth into your confusion when you couldn't find your way. I corrected you not to embarrass you, but because I love you too much to leave you stuck in your own pride. I strengthened you when you had nothing left. I reminded you of promises you thought I had forgotten. None of it was random. None of it was wasted. Every tear, every pause, every closed door was part of the preparation. You are not the same person who started this journey. You are more real, more humble, more trusting, and that is exactly where I need you to be. Now rest. I mean it, let your shoulders drop. Unclench your fists. I am in control. You are not alone. You never were, and you never will be. Let that truth fill your heart like a deep breath after holding it for too long. The future is not a mystery to me. The path ahead is already lit. You don't need to figure it out. You need to walk it with me. And because you have come this far, because you have said yes in your heart, I am calling you to be part of what I am doing. This is not a passive blessing. It is an invitation to sow. The PayPal link and QR code are there for a reason. That is not a gimmick. It is an act of worship. When you give, you are not funding a cause. You are stepping into the rhythm of my kingdom. As it is written, the one who sows generously will also reap generously. So don't hold back. Click like on this video. Write your answer in the comments. Share it with 3 people who need to hear this exact word. Subscribe so you don't miss what I am about to do next. Your obedience in these small things opens the door for greater things. I will bless what you release. I will multiply it. I will lead you into places you never imagined. Now go in peace, my child. I am with you every step of the way. My child, now is the moment for stillness. Not the stillness of avoidance, not the stillness of hiding, but the stillness of knowing that I am God. Let everything settle. Let the noise of your racing thoughts quiet down like dust after a storm. You do not need to rush away burdened or confused. I am here, right in this breath, drawing you into the peace that the world cannot give and cannot take away. The question I asked you earlier was never a weight meant to crush you. It was a hook, a gentle pull, designed to bring you closer. And now you stand in the awareness that faith is no longer just words you recite, it is the life you are living. Look back for a moment, not with regret, but with wonder. Do you see what I have shown you? I saw every struggle you tried to hide. I spoke truth into your confusion when you couldn't find your way. I corrected you not to embarrass you, but because I love you too much to leave you stuck in your own pride. I strengthened you when you had nothing left. I reminded you of promises you thought I had forgotten. None of it was random. None of it was wasted. Every tear, every pause, every closed door was part of the preparation. You are not the same person who started this journey. You are more real, more humble, more trusting, and that is exactly where I need you to be. Now rest. I mean it, let your shoulders drop. Unclench your fists. I am in control. You are not alone. You never were, and you never will be. Let that truth fill your heart like a deep breath after holding it for too long. The future is not a mystery to me. The path ahead is already lit. You don't need to figure it out. You need to walk it with me. And because you have come this far, because you have said yes in your heart, I am calling you to be part of what I am doing. This is not a passive blessing. It is an invitation to sow. The PayPal link and QR code are there for a reason. That is not a gimmick. It is an act of worship. When you give, you are not funding a cause. You are stepping into the rhythm of my kingdom. As it is written, the one who sows generously will also reap generously. So don't hold back. Click like on this video. Write your answer in the comments. Share it with 3 people who need to hear this exact word. Subscribe so you don't miss what I am about to do next. Your obedience in these small things opens the door for greater things. I will bless what you release. I will multiply it. I will lead you into places you never imagined. But first, pause again, let this sink deeper. Have you ever noticed how fear masquerades as caution? How worry pretends to be wisdom? I see through every disguise. When you hesitate to give, to share, to step forward, that is not prudence, that is the enemy of your soul whispering lies. But you have already broken that pattern by staying with me through this entire journey. You have proven your heart is soft. Now let it remain soft. Let your hands open, not clenched. Let your lips speak blessing, not complaint. Let your feet move forward, not backward. I am not asking you to do anything I have not already done for you. I gave everything, my son, my spirit, my very self, so that you could have life abundantly. Your smallest act of faith, your single click, your whispered prayer in the comment, your willingness to share this word with a friend, these are not small to me. They are seeds that will grow into forests of grace. Do not despise the day of small beginning. The mustard seed of your obedience today becomes the shelter for many tomorrow. Go now, but carry this with you. The stillness is not over. It is a rhythm you can return to any time. When the world presses in, when doubt rises, when you feel alone, remember this moment. Remember that I called you by name. Remember that I saw you, loved you, and sent you out with purpose. You are not a leftover. You are not an afterthought. You are chosen, set apart, anointed for such a time as this. Now go in peace, my child. I am with you every step of the way.